Welcome, welcome, welcome all to episode 1 of my new YouTube channel. As you can see from the title, I got banned from Instagram and now I am here.
What's up, folks? What's up, Carlton? What's going on? Just chilling.
Going to get into on this first episode is how I got here, how I made the transition from Instagram to YouTube, and why. I'll admit it's a bit of a long story, and I'll try my best to keep it short, so we don't get right into it. So about 6 months ago, a friend of mine said, "Hey, I want to start a YouTube channel, and I want it to be a podcast, and I want you to be on my podcast." So I was under the assumption that he wanted me to be a guest. After further conversation, he was like, "No, I want you to be a host. I want you to be my co-host. It's going to be our podcast. We're going to do this together." So I was like, "Okay, hell yeah, I agree." And as we all know, in today's climate, everybody wants to be on a podcast. I want you to be my co-host. It's going to be our podcast. We're going to
In the gym later on.
So like,
Okay.
hell yeah, I agree.
Supposed to go
So
yesterday.
as we all know, in today's climate,
Well, I wasn't
everybody
supposed
wants
supposed
to
to
be
go,
on a
but
podcast, of a podcast. So I agree.
my homeboy wanted me to go with him, but I got up with him too late, so he had already left. Luckily for me, it was leg day anyway, so I didn't give a shit. You already know I hate leg day. Not because I hate doing legs, but I don't want to do legs twice in a day. Like if I already ran, which is every day, then I gotta do legs. Then I gotta do another a treadmill run. That's just too much. That's too much. So I wasn't missing anything. But I've been chilling. Still thinking about what I'm going to do to change the channel up. I still haven't decided yet.
And people were starting to jump on board and follow me. Now, if anybody's seen my content before I got banned, it was pretty random. I was putting stuff of me singing. I was putting stuff of me in the gym. I was putting podcast snippets. I was invited to another podcast, so I put some snippets of that podcast on there. I was putting a lot of random stuff because I was like, content is everything. Content is not just how these mainstream YouTubers put on there, and they're very formulaic and very systematic, and they have a content that they put out on a regular basis. I just wanted content to be content. Content
Appreciate that.
is everything. So I was just putting everything out that I was kind of living.
Yesterday, I did a live stream where I just watched Ghostbusters because it was Ghostbusters Day. Didn't have anyone comment. Well, people came in, but no one left a comment, which is fine with me. And I knew it was going to be demonetized, but the whole thing was I couldn't even monetize it by erasing the snippets out of it because the whole thing was the movie. So I just had to delete the whole live stream. It wasn't a strike. It wasn't like a copyright strike against me. It was just it was ineligible because all of the rights to everything in the movie, including all the dialogue, was to Columbia Pictures. So I ended up deleting it. But it was fun nonetheless.
And I was surprised because I thought, man, this is going to be the one. I really thought. I was so certain that this was going to be the one. I posted it right before going to sleep. I put the phone down on the side of my bed. I went to sleep thinking, when I wake up in the morning, Instagram is going to go crazy with likes, DMs, shares. This video is going to be so funny that people are just going to cling to it and share it and follow me. To be honest, like I said, I thought this about all my videos. I put that phone on the charger, went to sleep, woke up the next morning with an email. Your account has been banned. I click on the app so I can see what happened here. How did my account get banned? A screen pops up and says, "Hey, your account has been banned and you can appeal to get your account back. However, if you appeal and it gets denied a second time, you will permanently lose your account. No hesitation. I clicked the appeal button because I think you might be off on this. Did you actually watch the video to see if I actually broke the community guidelines?
Yeah, Instagram.
4 days.
Meta's been off the hook just banning people on Instagram and Facebook for no reason.
4 days later, I get another email.
That's how I lost my Facebook.
And it's still a no. Your account, as of now, your account has been permanently banned. It's gone because of one video. Luckily, before it got banned, that wall that was
Ghostbusters is a classic. It was Ghostbusters Day. Because that's the day it was released, which was June. What's the day?
Went away for a short time, and I was able to see
June 8th, 1984. So that's Ghostbusters Day.
That this ridiculous video that I thought was going to be my breakthrough was it did the exact opposite. It was the thing that broke.
I still have my Instagram page, but I refuse to do anything to try to gain a following on it because there's no point. At any point, they could just randomly ban your account because the AI they're using in place of human moderators just makes random mistakes and they don't care. Hundreds of thousands of people have lost their accounts on Instagram and on Facebook.
I said earlier in the video that I had the challenge to myself that I wanted 10,000 hours worth of content.
So I'm not building anything on a Meta platform just for it to be lost. It ain't worth it.
With this transition, my videos can be a lot longer.
And there, I spent money on Facebook though, on my Facebook business page. So that's money I won't get back.
10,000-hour challenge to myself without relying solely on Instagram. Now I have no clue what.
There's a martial arts YouTuber, Shane Faison, who his YouTube channel is Fight Tips. Go check that out if you get a chance. But he has like had about 500,000 followers on Instagram. He voluntarily left Instagram. He didn't get banned. He quit Instagram even though he had 500,000 followers, just because he didn't like the new rule where now there's no longer end-to-end encryption in the DMs. They'll monitor all of that. And his point was, people kept saying, well, they were already monitoring that stuff anyway. And he was like, that's my exact point, is that now they're just upfront admitting that they're going to do it, and they don't care because they assume that people are just going to stick around anyway. He said, so that's why I left. So I'm halfway tempted to do that myself. Halfway.
I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm not very good at editing, but I'm going to learn through this process. And if anybody ends up sticking around, I am going to be watching anime as well.
But as far as monetization, I'm only kicking it with YouTube. I don't trust Meta whatsoever.
So that's pretty much the story. If anybody is interested in seeing the video that I posted that got me banned, I'm not willing to post it yet. I'll give it some time, but I will post it again. I don't think it was that serious, but Instagram did.
Some people have gotten their accounts back, but they had to go like I even applied to the Maryland state's attorney about it, and they did reply back saying, well, he violated our community guidelines. Like how? But they were not willing to show the post that allegedly was banned. Mind you, this happened in October of last year, right? 2025. But they were saying that it was something that I posted on my business page in 2022. Like what? How? There was nothing on my business page that was remotely wrong. Moreover, I had just started that page, so it didn't even make any sense. The page was a former page that my wife used to run. It was just about music, and she let me use that page to set up my business page. There was never any post on it that was remotely inappropriate. So I don't. So what a lot of people are doing right now are filing are like filing suits against Meta in small claims court. Not that they're going to win, but because if you have hundreds of thousands of people all filing in small claims courts against Meta for this very reason, it's going to force them to address it. Cardin says these social media companies don't have customer service phone numbers to file a complaint. Well, yeah. So one of the things like Meta was like, you can't respond to their legal department unless you're a friend of the company. Or, and they say like you have to, in order to like address any grievances, you have to log into your account. But since they already banned your account, there's no possible way to log into that very account that you're trying to get back in the first fucking place to address any grievances with Meta. It's crazy. Like Meta has run way too long, and it's run by a dickhead that used to have on his, when it was called the Facebook, he used to have a business card that said, "I'm the CEO, bitch." And he's never grown from that. Like he's a fucking asshole. I'm I know I usually disagree with the folks who think it's justified in killing a billionaire or a politician. But Zuckerberg, something needs to happen to him. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I will say publicly. I hope something happens to him. Not to every billionaire, just him. He has way too much control over people's lives through his Meta platform.
Well, good morning and welcome, of course, to Rising, and we have a great show for today. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning. How you doing?
I am doing just fine. Busy day ahead of me and busy day
Oh, dear YouTube, we're just joking here. We love Zuckerberg. Oh, Google and Meta don't get along, so I'm good on that. Google and Meta are fierce rivals. Now they might stick up for each other because they're both in the same spaces in some, as far as the Google execs and founders. But again, I'm not saying I will do anything to him because I'm not risking my freedom on some asshole, and I'm not advising or asking anyone else to do so as well. I'm just saying I hope something happens to him. That's all. Whatever that may be, but I won't have anything to do with it. No one I know will have anything to do with it, and I'm not advocating for anyone to have anything to do with it. I'm just saying, as a matter of probability, I hope something happens to him.
5 years, her high-profile departure from the Times itself in the summer of 2020 generated tons of attention, as did her founding of the Free Press. I can certainly understand that not everybody in the world has heard of the successful center or center-right media figure, but Kelly is, I thought, pretty checked in to what's going on. Now, I would suppose he was living in his own sort of bubble. But that's not the part of the interview I wanted to call attention to. One of Kelly's major beefs with Weiss was that she dared to give him editorial notes on a segment that was going to air about ICE protests in Minneapolis, about the death of Renee Good. One of those notes from Weiss was that he should describe the car that she was driving as moving toward the ICE officer who shot her. Kelly furiously rejected that that's what happened, however. Take a listen to him.
Renee Good's car, you need to describe her as driving toward the officer. This is not what you see.
She was driving towards the officer.
It's
in the video.
You see the officer standing slightly
It's in the video.
off the front of the car, and you clearly see Miss Good's wheels turned completely as far as they will go, away from the officer.
Lies.
but he shoots her in the head.
Lies.
kills her,
Lies,
and
lies,
says something
lies.
about her in that moment that I
And on
can't
top of that,
repeat,
ICE are trained by
in court.
military. ICE has military trainers. That's why they
So,
shoot.
Kelly says
That's
Barry
why
Weiss
they
told
shoot
him
to
say
kill.
something he thought was factually inaccurate. Well, look, here's how that works in journalism. If your editor challenges you on something and you think you're right, you go back to them and try to make them see it your way. Did Kelly do that with Weiss? I think that's my whole problem with his attitude about this altercation. Everyone in journalism, in news journalism, has a boss, and they answer to that person, and the boss has standards, and editors provide editorial feedback on reporting, analysis, and commentary. Now, if you're a straight-up opinion journalist, like me, for example, the feedback you get tends to be extremely light, because there's an understanding that what you're saying, what I'm saying, doesn't necessarily represent the company. Robbie's Radar, which you're listening to right now, is just Robbie's view. But if you're doing a straight news program, well, then it is a little different. But all that is even beside the point. Is Pelly right that the video does not show the car coming at the officer?
The car was clearly coming at the officer.
But it sure looks to me like it was coming toward him. Now, I accept that Good was trying to drive away from the officer, turning the wheel that way and so on. But there was, unfortunately, a split second.
It doesn't matter whether she turned the wheel
forward, and the
away from the officer. It was still heading towards him. He had every right to shoot the bitch.
His initial shot went through the front windshield.
He had every right to shoot the bitch.
Went through the driver's side door. So yes, Good was trying to drive away from the officer, Jonathan Ross, but the car was also in front of him the first time he fired. Both things can be true, and in fact are true as far as I can tell.
Right. Two things can be mutually true.
Reasonable fear for his life in the moment, then his action was lawful. You may not like that, but that is what the law says. Pelly seems confused as to why anyone would think he's politically biased or that 60 Minutes is politically biased or anything of that nature. Well, look, I would submit his opinion of what the Renee Good video footage does show, in fact, evinces some bias. And if you rebel against any and all editorial oversight at all times, then you're actually not going to make it at a journalism organization. You will end up by yourself on Substack, which is where he's headed.
So it's not like Pelly just took a look at the footage and said, well, in my eyes, she's not running into the officer. They spent more than 10 hours with producers reviewing this footage, with legal experts, with people that worked in law enforcement, with producers on the team. So to get a note from your higher up to say what he paraphrased and said, make the protesters more violent, and to also make sure that your wording says she drove into the officer. He said he made none of those changes, but he was surprised by the feedback because he felt that she was putting her thumb on the scale based on the relationship that the company as a whole has with President Trump. You know that there was a tumultuous period before Barry Weiss took her position. Paramount settled with Trump, and it had that backlash.
A lot of people are divided on that situation.
Skydance
Yeah, but like
so
the guy Robbie Suave was saying, two things can be mutually true at the same time. She could have been trying to drive away from him, but in the video you see the car clearly going towards him in that direction. He had every right to shoot at her in self-defense. And on top of that, like they instigated the whole situation in the first place. Why the fuck is someone there impeding an investigation or arrest of law enforcement officers? But now that she's decided to skew, like you call her center right, they're mad because the white female privilege didn't work in this instance. They're used to being able to make the law do what they want. Giving notes is not operating with autonomy. You can provide feedback, but you can't. Middle-aged liberal white women can't take it. These liberal white feminist bitches can't take it. The fact that law enforcement officers don't answer to them, like they may when it comes to like these little interracial profligations with black people. Shit ain't working on this. You know, where they can just call cops and be like, I'm gonna call the police on these black people because I don't like them. That shit doesn't work here. That's why half the country's fucking pissed, because liberal white women can't get their way for once. Any other time they can just weaponize the police against other people. But now when it's the police going after someone that they like, they're trying to de-weaponize the police, and that shit doesn't work. and again, like I said, the ICE agents are trained like
He
military,
did not need to shoot
are
in order
trained
to survive that altercation. But
like
that's what the
military.
standard is.
Like
What did he think in the moment?
they
If it
shoot to
appears
kill.
to him that it's coming at him,
Like
and
there's
he was,
a
because
former
that's
Army
what
Ranger.
makes
He
it
was
illegal,
talking about
then
incident
that's
and
a
talking about
settled
how
matter
many
for standards
times
of the law. So that's why
the
this
other
lawyer
person
matters
who
a
was
lot.
killed by
If
ICE
she
was
is-
shot.
if she said
And he
right
was like, "Oh
side,
yeah, that's." He's like, "Yeah, that's
that
how
would
many
be
times?
wrong.
Like 1,
If
2,
he
3, 4,
said,
5
look
shots." He's
right
like, "Yeah."
away from the
So what we would do
officer,
to
that
make
would
sure
be
someone's
wrong.
down.
And so you can have, well,
I
you
was like,
said this,
"Damn,
and then they
okay."
would actually compromise at
I
what would
can't
be
I
the
can't
correct
argue
length,
against
what
that.
I would
You
say,
know,
right?
I can't
While
argue
she
against
was
someone who
trying
was
to
part
run
of
away,
Ranger
there was a
Battalion.
brief
He would
moment in
know.
which he
They
might have
do
thought
way
he was
more
running at him because it was right in front of him. Something like
CQB
that.
drills than I
That's how
ever
you
have or will.
arrive
I've
at the
only
truth,
done
right? You say one
the
thing, I say
basic
another, we
stuff
hammer it out to get to the truth.
that we learned
And he is
in basic
rebelling
training.
against
Like,
that.
because I
No,
wasn't
no, don't hear anyone tell me what I can
I
say
wasn't in
before
combat
I
arms.
enjoy Substack. Which I'm not saying dismissively. People are afraid to use Substack. I like Substack. But
So,
if you're going to be part of a journalistic organization,
and people acting like
then
it
you
was like
accept,
ICE
as
is
we
just
do here,
killing
some degree of
Americans all over the place. It was just 2 freaking
working with
incidents
people and that
out
sort
of
thing.
literally
But
hundreds
there
of
is a
thousands of
Some people
arrests
would
and
say Barry
investigations.
White
It was
wouldn't
2
be part of a
incidents.
journalistic organization. We
People
have
are
to
bad at
accept that we don't
statistics.
operate based on relationships that our ownership has.
And again,
with
in
president,
those 2
administration,
situations
or anybody, any companies,
where
we try to
where the
operate
civilians were
accordingly
shot,
because we wanna tell the
they
truth.
instigated
Our
the
goal here is to
situation.
bring the people
If
the
this
truth.
was
And
if
60
these
Minutes has done a
2
good job at doing that so
idiots
far.
were black
And so
people,
Scott Pelley
they'd have
is
been like,
pushing back
you
to
know,
make sure
half
Barry
of
White's
America
on
would have been
the
like,
same
"Oh, they
page.
deserved it."
As you know, I'm not sitting here arguing saying that Barry White should never have come. I think 60 Minutes and CBS as a whole has to
Even
move
still,
into
I don't like
new
Barry White. So
territory to
even though
gather
I
opportunity to keep young
completely disagree with
viewers so
Scott
they
Pelley
get
here,
older who
I
are
don't
now
like Barry Weiss
accustomed to
either.
technology
So I
and
was
see
like,
the
I don't like either
information
one
in
of
new
them. So I
ways.
really don't
But at
care
the
that
same
he
time,
quit
if
or
you
got
know
fired,
you just
whatever.
came into an organization on the
That
heels
Barry
of all the
White,
things
I
that I
don't like
named
Barry Weiss.
earlier
So
and
whether
all
she
the
took
different
over
dramas
CBS,
surrounding
I
the
don't care. I don't like her
acquisition
anyway.
surrounding the
Scott Pelley
relationship
leaving or
with President
firing, I
Trump,
don't care because I didn't watch
everything.
that
You
shit.
think that you'd be mindful to not
No
try
one,
to parrot the language of the
no one
administration, which
under.
is extremely wrong.
I'm
You know
pretty
that
sure no
Christine
one
Nolan
under
was speaking out of turn when it came to
under
Renee Good and Alex Trey,
45
saying
watches
that they were domestic
CBS
terrorists.
60
So
minutes.
a lot of the language was
I was gonna say 50, but to give it just the benefit of the
a
doubt, I
lot of
said
the language was
45.
damning, and it was trying to make it seem
But I'm
like
pretty sure no
everything
one
was
under
more
45
aggressive
watches
coming from the
CBS
people
60
who were
minutes. No one
opposed
gives
to
a
ICE
fuck.
being in American cities than it was.
Or
And so
2020.
Scott Pelley saying we
Like,
showed
I haven't
that
watched
protests were
2020 and
agitated. We showed that
I don't
she
know.
asked for
The last
help.
time I watched
And so
2020
you
was
have to
just that
consider
segment showing
that
all
when you
those
feel that
Chinese
you're trying to
immigrants coming
report
across the
victory
border
online, you
illegally
already
onto that
show
man's
agitated protesters, but
personal
your new
property
boss,
in
who
Texas
has a relationship
during the Biden
truly
administration, and no one was
with the
doing a fucking thing
administration
about
and
it.
Paramount
And at the
ownership,
There was
time,
some violent
ICE
protest.
under
He
Biden
was
was
meeting
told to
with the
stand down and
high-level
just allow them
protesters. They were
to
showing
come.
seems biased.
And
violent protesters. He made it
the
sound
man was
like
arrested when he
she
tried to
said
stop them once
fabricate
because he
photos of
took out a
violent protesters.
gun,
There was some amount of violence,
and they
and
arrested
they
him
find
for
that
brandishing a
did
weapon on his
that's
own
Even
fucking
though
private
there was
property.
some amount
Couldn't
of
do
support,
anything. The people
more
even
support
burning
than
down his
violence.
well,
trees
obviously
on his
it should be
property.
depicted
I'm like, yo, that's
in a
fucked
way
up.
that faithfully represents what actually happened.
And Scott Pelley said he doesn't
can't
think
express a view on whether it was.
And it was like Latino and Chinese immigrants, and the Chinese immigrants immediately would call Uber and find a ride. I'm like, yo, what the hell?
The responsibility of Renee Good or
Um,
maximizing the wrongness
Of course, the
of
Latino
the
immigrants,
officer.
man.
Like nothing he is doing.
But
is
yeah.
bad. Of course, he is just an objective journalist. But it's.
And by the way, I
her
don't have anything against
responsibility
Chinese people or
but not
Latinos.
Scott Pelley. He would
I have
never,
something
ever
against
hold
illegal
things
immigrants.
where he could ever so slightly
Zach
benefit
3540
or
says, "Do you
validate
think Joe
whatever
Rogan is a
is
shill for UFC and BJJ? He's one of those MMA and BJJ are the best guys." I mean, didn't he used to get paid by them? I don't know. I mean, he loves BJJ because he's trained in it. He's trained as a mixed martial artist. He actually started off in Taekwondo. So he has some good. He's good with the feet. But you know, he ended up going into MMA and BJJ. I don't know if you would say shill. I mean, if you're literally paid by them, I mean, I don't get it. But he might just love the league. He as far as UFC is concerned, he might just love the league. I honestly don't watch enough of Rogan to say if he's a shill or not, because I don't know if he's still working for them, but you know he's been affiliated with them in the past, so I don't know. He said he's an interviewer and does fight commentators. Well, then he's employed by them. You can't be a shill if you're in, if you can't be a shill if you're openly employed by them. A shill is like someone that who's secretly employed by someone acting as an unbiased, pretending to be an unbiased advocate for that thing or person, right? He's not a that's not the case. He's openly, if he's openly working for them, then why wouldn't he advocate for the place that employs him? And I would. Shit, you hire me right now, you pay me well, I'm gonna advocate for whatever that institution is for which I'm working.
Justice Department announced Monday it is seeking to strip the citizenship of 17 foreign-born Americans that were accused of.
There's a lot of alleged sleeper cells across the border. Be safe on July 4th. I wouldn't be surprised if something pops off. Well, there's always people coming across this like enemy that are potential enemies. That's one of the reasons for ICE. That's why there's actually a division of ICE that deals with that very thing, with counterterrorism. Some people don't know that there's a subdivision of ICE that deal specifically in dealing with counterterrorism and stuff like that.
Who would be opposed to people who committed serious crimes?
Yeah, serious. As far as July 4th, I don't think anything's going on. I was actually thinking on July the 4th, if I'm not doing anything, I'm just going to watch the full Captain America trilogy from 1 to 3. Because it's our 250th birthday of America. So if I'm not unfortunately out doing anything, I'm probably just gonna stay home and watch Captain America from the entire trilogy back to back. Well, I don't think anything's gonna pop off. If it did, it would be at the Freedom 250 concerts, but no one wanted it to perform at the Freedom 250 concert. So I think Vanilla Ice is going to perform now, but all the original acts bowed out. I know Morris Day and the Times did. So.
And conspiracy to distribute prescription drugs without a license. They include a former priest accused of sexually abusing a minor and a man.
John Jones proved eye pokes beat all. Did he though? Because that was a long standing thing amongst traditional martial artists, is that eye poke could end all this MMA bullshit. That's not really true. The problem with the eye pokes is that it gives a lot of damage for not a lot of return. Like it gives a lot of permanent damage to someone, like their vision, like permanently disturbing their vision, but it won't end the fight. That's the problem with using something like an eye poke or a groin strike in combat sports. It creates a lot of damage, but these aren't finishing moves, so it's not worth putting the competitors in a position where they can permanently damage each other, but it's not giving them any sort of outsized advantage in the actual fight. And that's also the problem in self-defense, is that people who don't train combat sports falsely believe they can just eye poke someone or fucking groin strike them, and that's going to end the fight, and it doesn't. It just shows the people, anyone who believes that, just don't know how to fight, because eye pokes and groin strikes don't end fights. They don't. John Jones is undefeated. I know who John Jones is. John Jones is an undefeated UFC heavyweight and has actually poked each one of his opponents. No, he pretty much beats most of his opponents through sheer skill and strength and PEDs. Like we know he dopes. So He did not win his fights. I don't even know what you're talking about now. Like, I don't think you're familiar with modern combat sports. John Jones did not he did not win his fights through eye pokes. Like, that's just fucking stupid. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be rude, but John Jones didn't win his fights through his accidental eye pokes. He won his fights because of his sheer talent and the fact that he, uses,
I love this
that he's roided out.
People that are being targeted.
He's a roided out
Somebody who committed $36
fighter
million
who just dominates his other opponents.
And so they should, that should be a problem in our country. But again,
It has nothing to do with eye pokes.
Our president has commuted
Like, we use eye pokes in Jeet Kune Do, the style that I've practiced for years. And I can tell you that even though we practice these little finger jabs or BUG, the BUG is not finishing a fight. The BUG is just to shock you. Like, boom, then I can like pop, 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 pop. And then
I think that he thinks they're innocent and that they were
the eye poke is a distraction.
Federal government.
It's not ending the fight. Same thing with a groin strike. If I strike someone in the groin, and yes, it works against women too. It's a distraction. That moment of pain is a distraction where you can close in on a person and take them down. It's not ending the fight. The groin strike is not ending the fight. The eye poke is not ending the fight. People who actually spar and compete in combat sports know this. All it's going to do is piss a person off. If you poke someone in the eye when you're sparring or competing, you're just going to piss that other person off. You're not going to stop the fight. If you kick them in the groin, it's not going to end the fight. It's just going to piss them off. That's all. And groin strikes accidentally happen all the time. That's why we wear groin cups. Literally, when I was sparring someone 4 years ago, I was at this Kyokushin dojo with my cousin's friend, and the dude accidentally kicked me in the groin 3 times. Luckily, I had on my groin cup.
Well, either way, I think that we should follow the law, and so if we are trying to denaturalize,
those don't stop fights. They're used as distractions, where the person is shocked, is momentarily shocked by the pain. Headbutting, no, not in MMA. It's legal in Lethwei. Lethwei is Burmese kickboxing. It's similar to Muay Thai, but it's different. It's a different rule set. I think Thai boxing is the more savvy sport between Lethwei and Muay Thai, but Lethwei allows headbutts, and they do bare knuckle fighting. Old school Muay Thai used to have bare knuckle fighting, but when they introduced the Western boxing rules, they went to wearing gloves. But you can still find like traditional Muay Thai enclaves where you can do the bare knuckle fighting.
Everybody should be jailed for the crimes that they commit. And I don't think
like Sanchai,
the benefit of the doubt,
and his friend and arch rival, what's his name? I forgot his name. They did a bare knuckle fighting match.
That's true. I mean, that's true.
Yeah, obviously.
But yeah, Lethwei favors like bare knuckle fighting and headbutts. That's
the biggest difference that I could see.
But usually, Muay Thai boxer, on average, is the better fighter. But Lethwei is more brutal because of the headbutts and bare knuckle fighting. But I don't know any MMA that does headbutts. There's some MMA that allows soccer kicks to the head when a person is down, but UFC doesn't allow that.
The race for Los Angeles mayor is headed for November, with Decision Desk HQ projecting that city councilman.
Plus, it's a good thing because most people don't know how to headbutt anyway. Like, they all think headbutts are like in the movies where the person just goes, and it's not. I've shown this on my videos before, but when you actually headbutt, you're using the crown of your head, which is right here, the hardest part of your skull, and you actually just bump like boop,
I don't care how
boop,
convenient you want to make it for
and
people.
it
Do
would
we
just
really want
destroy
to?
someone's
That's really
face.
I mean, these are
Like you don't even have to
they can't
smash
get
them
off their
hard. Like
election
it's often used in
politicians on
dirty
election
box,
day.
like
And we don't
in
want
dirty,
to,
so in
because they
Filipino
won't even
dirty
let you vote.
boxing
You're too lazy. You're too busy. Sure. To make it down
and
to
other
the
forms of
polling
dirty
station on
boxing,
election
but like
day, then
Filipino
yeah,
dirty
good,
boxing,
goodbye.
we do
You don't get to
headbutts,
vote.
where
So
it especially works when you're in
the president just voted
you're
mail-
close
by
enough,
mail-in
you're
voting
in
in
the
Florida.
clenching
Sorry to
range,
break it to you, Megan, but
and
California's
like
slower vote
you may
count
either
isn't
be
proof that
clenched up
something is wrong with the election system. It's largely a reflection of how
like
the
this
state
or this,
conducts elections.
got the double
California relies
that
heavily on mail-in voting. That means election
double
officials
neck
must
tie-in,
verify signatures, process envelopes,
or
inspect
it's like
ballots,
this,
and
you got,
follow a lengthy chain
or you holding
security
someone by the
procedures
waist
before
or
votes
whatever, and
are officially
you
counted.
just
State leaders have
boom,
long
boom, boom,
argued
boom,
that the
boom,
goal is
boom,
to make voting
and
accessible
and you lean in
while
and go bop.
maintaining election
That's
integrity.
if you remember, that
And
was
while
what
it's
happened
true
with the
that states
Tyson
like Colorado, where I
the
lived for a
Tyson
long time, and
Holyfield
Arizona,
fight.
where I also
He
lived
kept
for a
saying
long time,
Holyfield
often
was
report
headbutting him. That's why he
results
got angry
quickly
and bit his
despite
ear, because
widespread mail voting.
Holyfield did
California
headbutt him,
isn't exactly a fair comparison
but
to those states. Nearly 40 million people
because it is a
out
strategy, I don't know if
Colorado has
Holyfield was
6
doing it
million
intentionally or not.
Arizona
He
has
might
38
have been
million
doing it
voters.
intentionally, and that's
That's
why
a
Mike
massive
Tyson
difference in
spit
scale.
out his
Different counties in California
his
also operate with
mouthpiece and
different staffing
bit the
levels,
man's ear
budgets,
off.
and labor
But
agreements.
boxers do that sometimes.
Processing ballots for
Boxers
states with
will
nearly
often
40
do stuff
million people
dirty
says
all
it
the
requires
time,
more time, more manpower, and more resources
and
than
hope
processing
no one
ballots
catches it.
in
Like
states
they'll throw,
with populations
say
only
like they'll throw a
fraction
hook,
of the size of California.
and the hook will just miss,
There's
and then
also
they'll
no
connect it with the
explanation for
elbow.
tracks apparent loss
That
of
happens in
over
boxing all the time.
mail-in
That's
ballots.
that's a form of dirty
He's a
boxing.
registered Republican
Just
who
throwing that
attempted to
hook
run an overwhelmingly
and
Democratic
then
Los
connecting it with
Angeles
the elbow
as
instead,
independent.
or again like you're in
Despite
clinch
President
mode,
Trump previously
Yep.
describing him as a
and
quote, big
you know
bag
you're
of
this
hard
close up, boom,
That's a
boom, boom,
difficult
and the
political
person
task
just
in a city and state where
goes like
Democrats
that,
have dominated
and it
elections.
just
We've
poof,
seen this
and
movie
it's just
before. In
devastating.
2022, Rick Caruso spent more
So
than $100 million trying to win Los Angeles mayoral
headbutts
race and
definitely are
still
very
lost.
effective.
The last Republican mayor in Los Angeles left
Again,
office in
unlike,
2001.
but again, it's
California
not a
has
one,
elected a
but
Republican to
you can't
statewide
just rely
office
on
since
headbutts, just like you can't
2006,
just rely on eye
and
pokes
Democratic voters continue
or
to
orange
significantly
strikes. I think that guy left
outnumber
Carlton. I
Republicans.
think he got bad because
Yet
I
Pratt is still
contradicted
not
him.
throwing in the towel.
It doesn't matter. Like I said, it's a
Folks, we're
believing
dealing with a fraction of
John
a
Jones won
percentage
all his
point
fights through
difference.
accidental
There's
eye
still
pokes is
hundreds of
just
thousands of votes outstanding,
insane. Like
and
the
LA
guy is
officials
just
are
a
giving
sheer
us the
brutal.
next 3 weeks
The,
to
the
count.
dude is a
Let's
is a
get her
freaking
done.
Spartan
To be clear,
of
every
fighters.
candidate
Like
has the right to wait for all
to
legally
think that
cast
he
ballots
won
to be counted
he
before
won his
declaring
fights
victory
through
or
just
defeat. But
accidental
what
eye
stands out
pokes
is how quickly
is just
conversations about election
goofy.
administration become conversations about election legitimacy, whatever the outcome is not what some
And
people
saying each one
expected.
of them he did it. Like
Losing an
really?
election and
Like
proving
what
an
evidence?
election was
Like
stolen are
does
two
he
very
have any
different
hard
things.
evidence to
In a
support that claim that
democracy, candidates are
every
entitled
one
to
of John
compete.
Jones' fights that
They're
he
entitled
won
to
was
question
used?
procedures.
He
They're
employed an
entitled to
accidental
await
eye poke.
final results. What they're not entitled to do is treat disappointment as
Left way is
evidence
serious
of
stuff.
fraud.
There's no points and no judges. You have to win
There
by
has to be a
knockout.
better
You have to do it
tactic than,
twice.
if you can't
You
beat
sure
them,
about that?
accuse them of
Oh,
fraud.
and I'm glad you're still here. I thought you left.
Look, I
So,
agree that I think conservatives
I don't know about the no points thing. Like when I haven't seen like to be quite upfront about my lack of knowledge. I have not seen very many leftway fights. To my understanding, there is a rule set to leftway that is similar to Muay Thai, but I have not heard that there's no points. I'm pretty like every combat sport of which I'm aware has has points.
You're comparing it to other
Boxing,
states that quickly count their
kickboxing, Muay Thai,
votes. No other state has 40 million
Sanda,
I'm telling you because mail-in voting in retiree Arizona, where I lived for 4
submission
years, is
grappling,
prevalent. But they only have 8 million. votes.
wrestling,
California has 14 million.
Okay, but we're just talking right.
survive.
You don't do though. You don't do universal mail. Value. Like you keep doing the Trump comparison.
I forgot
The
the
system I
the Cambodian one is the Cambodian kickboxing is Kun Kimmer, which is very also similar to Muay Thai.
ballot.
and there's also a Lao
You just have to
and
request it
Vietnam
and get it.
kickboxing
So you
versions.
can
All of them are
request
similar to
some
Muay
reason
Thai.
why, like you're president of the United States and you're not in the state, that would be a reason. So you get
And
announced.
Lethway often
That's
claims to
fine.
be
California sends
to be
a
synonymous with
ballot
Muay
in the
Thai,
mail
which
to every
they
single
aren't,
person
but
registered
they
to
all
vote.
have similar roots
And
because
then you can still
they were
show up
all,
to a polling
you know,
place, even
at
though
one
you collect
point
the ballot. Somebody else
mixing
can
it
fill
up
out your
with each
ballot,
other
get sent
in
in the
the
mail,
in the
and you can do this up until the
19th
election day itself. So
and
we're
early
still counting
20th century.
days later.
Well,
This is an
But
insane
in any
system
case,
that needs to be fixed.
And
Lethway definitely has a rule set. I'll look it up, but I am almost sure that actually, I'll look it up on my computer. I'm almost positive that Lethway has a rule set with points because I don't know any combat sports that don't. So yeah, I'll look it up. Give me a second. I might be wrong. I always learn stuff.
It doesn't mean you're voting twice. It means that everyone's combing through every single ballot to make sure there are no duplicates. California has no systematic election fraud that we've seen.
If there are,
if there are, bring
do they say which was your actual ballot?
Okay.
What do they do?
Actually, we could bring on a California.
I don't. Why,
Executive, and also there's lawsuits going on now in California because Republicans have begged for this to happen. And so now in California, there are active lawsuits going on to figure this out. What they're going to find out is that there's no widespread election fraud. The people were counting the exact specific ballots. And that's why it took them so long. And if you want to provide any more resources to California so that they can handle the 40 million people that are voting on election day that possibly or have access to vote, then they can do that. But if they do not want to handle
Okay.
deal with the fact
All right.
that
I hope you
California
accept these results because this is coming from the Bing Copilot. And I mean, if you don't like that, I can switch to Google as well. But my default browser on here is Microsoft Edge. But sometimes I will switch to the Google search. But I'll see what Copilot says first. Does Lethway have? So this is the question I posed. So does Lethway have points while fighting? Sorry, let me erase the smudges out of my reading glasses. I apologize. They always have smudges from the oil on my face, I think.
The Republican states had any complaints that maybe these ballots were messed up, needed to be recounted, because if that's the case, then a lot of people should be concerned.
Sorry about that.
Or the same exact ballot. But the thing is, it's not about the
why does it feel like this shit just made it worse? What the fuck?
And that's called being
I'm sorry.
because otherwise we should review every single person on each ballot in relation to the ballots that were President Trump's name right at the top. And so
In traditional Lethway, there is no point scoring system at all. Matches are not evaluated over time by judges. Instead, they are decided by a single outcome: knockout, stoppage, or opponent's inability to continue. If neither fighter is knocked out and both remain standing, the fight is declared a draw. The quote unquote no decision format means fighters focus entirely on damaging or incapacitating their opponent, not on accumulating points. The sport's bare knuckle, but mind you, they said tradition. I want to clarify. It does say in traditional Lethway, there's no point scoring system, not modern. We're going to get to that. In traditional Lethway, traditional. Okay. The sport's bare knuckle nature, minimal hand protection, gauze and tape, and allowance of all major striking and clinch techniques, including headbutts, make it one of the most brutal martial arts. The emphasis is on pressure, durability, and finishing ability, not on technical scoring. Modern Lethway, especially in professional systems like the Golden Belt Championship, has introduced some point scoring elements to align with international competition standards. And that was my point, Zach, was that is traditional Lethway as opposed to modern Lethway. Just like I said, there's a difference between traditional Muay Thai and modern Muay Thai. Modern Muay Thai came out after I think after 1929 or 1924, whenever, when they introduced Western boxing rules to Muay Thai. But anyway, in these formats, referees or juries may track scoring, but this is not part of the traditional village or festival match. Even in modern events, the scoring is often minimal and secondary to the knockout only or stoppage only win conditions. So that's fair, right? So we both, right? So you're right. In traditional lethweight, there's no scoring. In modern lethweight, there is scoring, but the emphasis isn't on scoring; it's still on knockouts or completely making a person stop fighting. So summary: traditional lethweight, no points. Fights end by knockout, stoppage, or draw. Modern lethweight may have limited point scoring in some professional events, but knockout or stoppage remains the primary win condition. So unless you're watching a modern regulated lethweight bout, you won't see fighters fighting for points. The goal is always to finish the opponent.
And I had a ballot at
All right.
I didn't live with my grandmother. I lived alone in Colorado.
Zach says you have to knock out your opponent, then they stand the opponent back up, and you have to knock them out again to win. Again, I just read what they said, so you can take it for what you. I mean, unless you've competed in it yourself, that's what I see here. I was actually, I mean, right now Myanmar is probably not a good place to, because actually when my wife went there last year, I think one of the places where they do lethwei for tour, where tourists would come and train lethwei, I got closed down due to the civil war continuing in Myanmar, aka Burma. And because I'm American, I'm gonna continue calling it Burma. So I disagree with the military, the military government there. So I'm gonna continue calling it Burma, as is the American government's tradition of doing so. Not calling it Myanmar, Burma. It is, and it's called Burmese kickboxing still as well. So, which is sometimes also confused with Bando. Bando is the traditional Burmese martial art. Just like in Thailand, there's traditional Thai martial arts called Muay Barang, which is sometimes confused with Muay Thai, but it's purely like a traditional art. But anyway, modern lethwei uses points, but yes, they still emphasize you knocking someone out or stopping them.
James, I hear consistent tropes about way too liberal for Texas.
I would love to just try it out. I would not like.
Well, just on that particular accusation, I oppose gender reassignment surgeries from
I would not want to be a professional fighter in lethwei. Seems like something that would be a very short-lived experience for most lethwei competitors. Shoot, even Muay Thai is a very limited. People don't realize like these people who would get into it like at the age of like 5 or 6. Usually by the time they turn a teenager, they've already retired. Like they're probably using their money to open up their own gym, or take care of a family or something like that, and work a ordinary job, maybe buy a tuk-tuk something like that. But yeah, the average Muay Thai fighter will start at the age of a child, and by the time they become a teenager, like by the time they hit 18, 20, between 18 and 21, like the career is probably already ended, because the body can only take so much damage, and it's, I would assume, it's way worse in lethwei. So yeah, but I would love to do a lethwei fight just for the experience, and because it seemed like it's more anything goes when it comes to the different strikes and grappling, I would feel more I would be comfortable using stuff outside of Muay Thai to attack. Like I can use stuff coming from my background in Savat and Kali or Salat. So, yeah, or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Well, I don't think you can go to the ground in lethwei, but so I'll say judo. But I would love to do a lethwei fight just for the experience, but I would not want to be a professional lethwei fighter. Even Muay Thai, I wouldn't want to do that longer than like maybe, like if I even Muay Thai, I wouldn't do that more than like a year, for more than a year at most. And I was seeing, and I would think a year of that would be like no more than 6 to 8 fights. because I mean, you could fight as much as like once every month if you got it like that. But at my age, I think fighting once every month would be a little bit too much. Maybe every 2 or 3 months, and even still, that's a lot. But if I trained it for a year and fought, that would be good enough for me just for the experience and having the credentials that it gives me. And luckily, I will only do once and only once. Carlton said that's wild. He said once a month would be crazy. They used to do it more than that, Carlton. Like this is why Muay Thai fighters were so much better than kickboxers in the Western world. Muay Thai boxers will often like fight once a week or once every 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer if they have to heal up from the previous fight. But these guys will fight like once, like every 1 to 2 weeks. And think they started like at the age of like 6. And they would just like the kids, like they don't let them like beat each other to death, obviously, but just the experience of like say training and fighting since 6 to the age of 20, and then you got some 30-year-old guy who's trained in taekwondo and then kickboxing from the age of 13, thinking he can deal with a Muay Thai fighter, get the break speed off of him, especially because he's not even used to the low leg kicks, and they're gonna just wham, 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 just come down, wham, 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 just on those legs, and they didn't condition their legs aren't conditioned to take those low leg kicks. It's like wham, bam, 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 just chopping down their legs. Like now modern kickboxing has become way more effective because many kickboxers now train in Muay Thai to be a more effective kickboxer. But the old style, the American kickboxing or full contact karate was no match for Muay Thai. Even the Japanese kickboxing was no, and Japanese kickboxing actually started from Muay Thai. Still was no match for Muay Thai. But I think the Japanese kickboxers were more effective than American kickboxing.
Well, he defended you when you were at your lowest.
Yeah, Alan Dershowitz has defended all sorts of people.
Supporting kids that are confident enough to speak out for what they believe in.
Yeah, Lethway is brutal.
Into him,
to be sure.
He thinks that children should get gender care or gender.
Said nothing makes him more excited.
And to watch kids basically standing up for themselves. No, they were any kids. It was the idea that children. It wasn't even were empowered.
I'm gonna check out this fight while we're on here.
That was on the docket. That was on the docket. That was on the docket of what happened within the week that he was having that conversation. And people turn that into he wants to see people get sex reassignment. Like, no, that's dramatic. And he's correcting. He allowed this narrative.
There's nothing braver than people who've done that. You presumably support it. No, I don't know what he did say.
That's not what he said, though. That's what I'm saying. There's an intentional misconstruing of what he said. He didn't say there's nothing braver than people changing their sex through surgery. He literally said there's nothing braver than these young transgender students going and defending themselves and telling politicians how they feel about their rights. That's brave for young kids who support anything to stand up and say, here's what I'm fighting for, and here's what I want to tell my politicians to be civically engaged. I don't see what you don't get about that. Our differences. He's not saying that he wants them to go get care. If they turn 18 or 21 and make that decision, that's
any Westerner that would dare to become a professional left-way fighter. Even if they get the shit beat out of them, they get my respect, because that takes a lot of balls for a Westerner to say, hey, let me do left-way. Let me try this out. Knowing that the only way to win these fights is to knock someone the fuck out or to beat them to the point that they literally can't fight anymore. That is so fucking brutal. You get instantly my respect for that. I don't care if you get knocked out. To have the balls to say I'm gonna try fighting the left way, it's just is wild to me. I'm looking at clips of left way right now.
Yes, and the president called him a vegan, and that's why I'm saying.
Like I said, I would love to try it, but damn, this shit is
Only to make
brutal.
it seem like he doesn't fit in
A
Texas.
supporter
And what he's saying does not.
Oh damn, I see him headbutting from here too. He's using the temple. He's like, boom, boom, boom. I'm not doing it. I'm not hitting with the temple.
If you decide to live a vegan
That's
lifestyle,
brutal.
the ultimate goal of a healthy lifestyle is veganism.
I'll hit with the crown of the head because that's the tough spot. I'm not hitting with the temple. Cause your own headache. Like, Matt. Ow, that looks brutal. That looks painful.
And you want to skip over the
So once,
this
acts as the combat sport with less rules always beats the combat sport with more. Actually, that's not true. That's not true. That's why I just kept saying that overall Muay Thai typically dominates Lethwei. Muay Thai fighters tend to be technically better fighters than Lethwei. The problem with Lethwei is our brutality. Brutality only gets you so far. The more technical savvy fighter is often gonna win out. Muay Thai I think Muay Thai is the better combat sport between the two. Because there's often an exchange between Muay Thai and Lethwei, and usually Muay Thai boxers on average tend to be the better fighters on average.
All I see is somebody who's problematic and somebody who's not.
Here's one Western Lethwei fighter, Dave LeDuc. This guy's a beast.
Someone in Texas, has to go between the two of them. So,
I'm an independent third party vote.
I might have to go outside and do a little shadow boxing. I'm motivated, even though it's late as hell.
Why can't you give him a chance? Just because he said one statement back in the day about
this guy's a beast.
It feels very like grasping at straws. That's what it feels like to me.
Well, I do mean he's trying to take away our straws. I bet he is.
No, I think
I bet he would love to take our beautiful plastic straws and give us that paper. You know what I mean?
Everybody
I bet you
glass. I have glass straws.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Wash them.
I have. It's simple, and they don't. No, glass straws. I care about the environment. I care about animals. You know where those plastic straws end up? In the ocean. Yeah, they do. I've seen them. I've seen the cleanup going on. I travel enough to see them piled up in different parts of the ocean, and the people arguing about sustainability, complaining about the Americans that want to use so much plastic.
Well, hopefully when they reopen those Lethwei gyms to tourists, I can actually go train there. Unlikely I will actually do a Lethwei fight, but I will be sure to go to a Lethwei gym. And if I'm lucky, they might let me spar with one of the trainers. If I can spar with one of the Lethwei trainers, that'll be if it complete for me.
President Trump responding after some people took issue with his presence at, including me, I took issue with it. Last night's NBA Finals game. Stay with us.
Rare earth elements power modern life.
Yeah, these guys are hardcore.
Led their production. Today,
But
nearly all
can you be surprised that a brutal sport comes out of a country that's been mired in civil war for like decades?
Rich in rare earths and
That's funny that the TV commercials said decades at the same time as me. But anyway,
learn more at phosphateinnovation.com.
A brutal sport coming out of a brutal country kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
When you're bored, you shop online. When you shop online, you buy taxidermy squirrels. When you buy taxidermy squirrels, tax happen. Tax happen.
Oh, Carlton, have you seen that they got like commercials on YouTube now when they can just straight up cuss? That's why I think they allow us to say whatever we want in live streams now. Because, I think I said this on my live stream the other day. Like they allowed them, I lied to you not. 3 days ago, I was watching YouTube and a random YouTube ad came on, and there was a woman saying, "You guys don't know how to fuck. Like you like like saying stuff like you need to learn how to get pussy. And I was like, yo, what? And it wasn't like they weren't even like like censoring it. It was like just out there. Like I'm like, yo, they could just say
I think that was just a
F
little bit
this
of
and pussy that. And I'm like, in that
that's
YouTube
cool.
ad. You saw that ad too? Oh god! So I'm not the
Yeah.
only one.
What are you
That shit was wild. I was like,
The Knicks haven't won a
did,
championship.
so when you saw that ad, did you have to double check that you was actually watching a YouTube ad? Like, did you look up and be like,
Oh, you really
President Trump?
what?
He gave a jinx vibe.
Yeah, that was
He brought
crazy.
the cabinet up there.
Yeah,
The man during
I
the
thought I was
national anthem,
bugging. I'm
he
glad
was
someone
sitting
else saw that
there
ad
to see the
because I'm like,
campaign.
yo,
What was
what is
booze?
going on?
All you see is booze. New York didn't want him there. People had to go through. People had to go through massive security. The players were thrown off.
We've got to
Wait, speaking of three-word acronyms,
yes.
TDS, do you like TSA? Because all the players had to go to TSA level security to get into their own game because the president could not take himself out of the center of a conversation for once and just watch the game from home. He's the only sitting president that ever went to an NBA Finals game. What is wrong with you?
It really is.
Why can't the president go to a freaking NBA Finals game?
This is a big deal for New York.
Oh, I thought.
She's so fucking retarded.
Serious. This is a big deal for New York. I'm looking forward to going.
Oh my God.
I'm looking forward to celebrating with my fellow New Yorkers. I think since
Like, can the American president not go to a game?
I can't not make anything about me. I must go.
For the past 25 years, half the country has always hated whatever president is in office. If he's a Democrat, half the country hates him. If he's a Republican, half the country hates him.
There was even more reason why you shouldn't go.
We should make him an independent so everyone hates him. But yeah, now I'm saying that the president can't go to a sports game. That's just retarded. If it was Obama, she'd have been defending him. Like, why can't he go?
Cancel all the watch parties around
Like, just shut up,
MSG. Made the
bitch.
players go
God.
through extended
stand by
security, dramatizing their day, and make them have to come hours earlier than they would. It's their big day.
Guys running around in the basement doing stabbing sprees. That's all fine.
It's their big day. What do you mean? No, they should get.
That was
security.
under Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, what does that have to do with this? Don't divert. Talk about something else. I'm talking about the game and the 13 winning streak that the Knicks had.
Anyway.
The vibe was off. He has a nasty attitude. He calls NBA. He condescends the NBA for years since COVID. He talked about anything that they did speaking up for injustices around the country, but now he wants to sit his behind in the game.
You heard what I said.
And also fall asleep. I saw a video of him like can't even stay awake during.
And then they mad because he fell asleep. He's 79 years old. He goes to a game
This is truly
again? If it was Biden, they wouldn't have said they wouldn't have had any problems with Biden falling asleep at the game.
What is wrong with you? Yeah, he was falling asleep at the game, wasting America's time. Knicks would have won if he was not there. He could have done.
Oh, this bitch crazy. She literally said the Knicks would have won if Trump wasn't there. So now it's Trump's fault that the Knicks lost. This is how you know people. This is how you know the team is a loser. He said, I'm sure people want the Knicks to lose because Trump is from New York. No, she literally just said the Knicks would have won the game if he wasn't there.
And here he comes ruining
it. Because he fell asleep. So because the man fell asleep, he shouldn't have went there.
I'm speechless.
Well, you don't like TSA. You say
Who,
TBS,
like,
I didn't follow. I'm not a.
This is why I'm a political independent, because people are just retarded when it comes to
closely
to-
followed. Basketball is not
to
a-
political ideology and partisanship.
Sports guy, and this is pretty low.
I fell asleep
For me,
at
I
sports
like
games.
Football and golf.
Does that mean I shouldn't be able to go?
But I obviously
I paid for it.
win, and
Okay, so you like football and golf. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I went to an old
Super Bowl, yes, but it's
Redskins game. Should I not have gone because I fell asleep? Mind you, it was my father took me there, so I didn't really want to go, but he thought he was, treating me. I fell asleep.
But you know you're going to inconvenience thousands of people.
Um,
You're going to inconvenience thousands of people.
I've also went to a Ravens game. I didn't fall asleep on that though. One of the Orioles games, I was falling asleep.
That's what the president thought.
I think my father fell asleep on one of the games too. Like, are we not supposed to be there because we fall asleep? Like, she doesn't make any sense. Like, I can't take I can't take people seriously like that.
that.
Because his older people fall asleep all the time, and plus he's the president that's flying across the world and losing sleep. Right. The stuff he does every day, like people have no idea. Why do you think people ate? Like, why do you think being in the presidential office literally ages people because of the stuff that they go through? It literally ages them. So the man can't fall asleep. He's literally just watching the game. He's not deciding the fate of the world. And yes, it's going to be extra security if a president comes there. That would have been the case of any. That would have been that would have been the issue of any uh, high level public official coming to a sports game, which often happens, like the Super Bowl or the NBA Finals, the NCAA Finals, whatever. Like, if any high level public official comes in, there's going to be heightened security. A president, a pope, a senator, someone running for office of president, a governor. Like, I, what is her point? So that basically, if she doesn't think high level security should burden players and people coming to view the games, then basically our argument is that no high level public official should go to a game because they're gonna
Well, I think it's regrettable that these security measures,
they're gonna
totally against, by the way, are now necessary
make it inconvenient for everyone else. That's just stupid.
Okay, the person who
She's just
went after him.
dumb. She like Robbie said, she just has TDS.
To kill the president was literally at a White House press event with mostly these liberal journals that you talk about, who also would have got harmed in that crossfire. So then, therefore, I don't know if
big
it was
manifesto he was going to go down the
but then other liberals would have got harmed if he did what he wanted.
Well, he was willing to. He thought it was so important to kill the president
that he would hurt other quote unquote liberal biased journalists. So it just doesn't make any sense. Like everybody would have been hurt by that.
Well, it's true. Just like other innocent people were hurt at. Were killed at Butler when another deranged person tried to kill the president. Trump is attracting violent threats all the time.
And if you're cognizant of that as the president of the United States, knowing that times are tumultuous, why would you go to one of the most populated games?
There's no part of you that says we should look danger in the eye, respond to it, and overcome it.
Yeah, and
back down to threats and say our president can't go anywhere.
I'm still looking at these Lethway fights on YouTube while I'm watching this on YouTube. A Rise in the Hill. I'm seeing some of these people do these spinning jump kicks that's reminiscent of Salat. It's reminiscent of Salat because when they do their spinning jumping heel kicks, they land on the ground with it because the way they would train in traditional Salat would be in these little maybe in like these little rice paddies or marshes. So they will often do these little acrobatic kicks that end up with them on the ground because the swampy ground would cushion their fall. I'm seeing these guys attempt these sort of kicks. I wouldn't want to do that in the ring just because I think it's not worth the potential like damage of landing that way. And even when you practice like Salat like that and you do those techniques in training, it's usually done on these on thick mats that it will absorb the blow when you fall. But yeah, I wouldn't mind trying that. Anyway, I'm out. I guess I'm gonna end this. Again, I wish people got to watch Ghostbusters with me last night because I had to delete that video because it was copyrighted by Columbia, as they have every right to do. And I knew that was going to happen, but I thought maybe I could just erase the segments with the music, with the copyrighted music, and they wouldn't have a problem with me otherwise just watching, I mean, listening to it in the background. But actually, that is a big problem. I'd have been better off actually just showing the the video image of the movie without the sound. But next time there's um, like a holiday connected to like a superhero or some sort of franchise, nostalgic geek franchise like Batman Day or something, I'm gonna do something differently other than watching the movie while I live stream. It's gonna be a little bit different. But until then, guys, I'm out. So peace. Take care, Carlton. Let me know if you hit the gym.